So today, we're diving into the Almanack of Naval Ravikant. It's this incredible collection of wisdom on how to build wealth. But this isn't about getting lucky or winning the lottery. Nope, this is about completely changing the way you think about earning a living. Let's get right into it. The core idea of the book is actually pretty simple, but it is so powerful. The whole point is that building wealth and being happy, they aren't just things that happen to you by chance. They're skills. And just like any other skill, you can learn them. And this quote right here, it gets straight to the heart of the problem that so many of us are stuck in. It's that trap of trading your hours for dollars. Naval's whole philosophy is really a roadmap for how to finally break free from that cycle.
All right, so where do we even begin? Well, the very first step is to redefine the goal itself, because, as it turns out, a lot of us are actually chasing the wrong thing. We need to get crystal clear on what we should really be aiming for.
You have to pay attention to how precise Naval is with his words here, and for a really good reason. He pulls these three ideas apart because if you chase the wrong one, you end up on a completely different path. Money? That's just a tool. Status? That's just a social game. But wealth? Wealth is freedom. And this breaks it down perfectly. See, money and status are usually zero-sum games. For you to get more, someone else has to get less. But wealth, that can be a positive-sum game. You can create something totally new that actually helps people, and in the process, you build assets that are working for you 24/7.
Okay, so if wealth is the goal, how in the world do we actually get there? Well, this is the cool part. Naval doesn't just talk in philosophical terms, he literally gives us a formula. So let's break down the 3 pillars that hold it all up.
Naval's point is that creating wealth isn't some big, unsolvable mystery. It's an equation. It's built on these 3 key components. If you can understand them and, more importantly, combine them, you basically have the blueprint. So let's figure out what these variables are. The first pillar, the first ingredient, is what he calls specific knowledge. Now, this isn't the stuff you learned in a textbook. It's that totally unique thing that exists at the intersection of your personal passions and your genuine curiosity. It's something that nobody can just go to a class and learn. And this is the real test, How do you know you've found your specific knowledge? It's the thing you're obsessed with, the thing you do just because you love it. To you, it feels like play, but other people look at you and think, wow, they work so hard. You're not even competing, you're just being you.
Okay, pillar number 2, accountability. This is all about taking ownership and doing it publicly, putting your name on the line. It means taking on risk. And yeah, that's scary, but it's the only way to build the trust and credibility you're going to need for the final piece of this puzzle. Think about it like this. Accountability is basically the price of admission. It's the ticket you have to buy to get access to real rewards, like equity and leverage. When things go right, people need to know who to thank and who to reward. And that, of course, brings us to our third and final pillar, leverage. This is the magic ingredient. This is how you amplify the impact of everything you do. It's a force multiplier. Without leverage, your output is always tied 1-to-1 with your input, which is your time. And Naval is crystal clear on this. You are not going to create massive, life-changing wealth just by working harder. It's not possible. You need a force multiplier. And the amazing thing is, today, the most powerful kinds of leverage are available to almost anyone. So let's put it all together. There it is, the formula in its entirety. Specific knowledge is what you do, accountability is how you do it, with your name on it, and leverage is the tool you use to scale it to the moon. Master this combination, and you are on the path to true wealth. Now, let's pause for a second, because that last piece of the puzzle, leverage, is so unbelievably critical that we need to zoom in on it. It really is the engine that separates how wealth is built today from every other time in history. I mean, just think about what this means. This is the incredible opportunity of our era. Your unique obsessions, your specific knowledge, can now be scaled and shared with a global audience using tools that our parents couldn't have even dreamed of. If you look back through history, you can see how leverage has evolved. It all started with labor, just having other people work for you. Then, for most of the last century, capital was king. You needed money to make money. But now, we live in the age of permissionless leverage. You don't need a huge team or a bank loan. All you really need is a laptop and an idea. And this right here, this is the absolute game changer. You can write a piece of code. You can record a podcast. You can write an article. You create it one time, and that one thing can go on to serve thousands or even millions of people without you having to do any extra work.
It's like having an army of robots working for you around the clock for free.
But look, you can have the perfect formula, but it's not going to work without the right mindset. It's not just about what you do, it's about how you think. It's all about having patience, having perspective, and playing the long game.
This is so fundamental. The really big wins in life, whether it's with money or in your relationships or with learning, they don't come from short little sprints. They come from compound interest, from sticking with the right things and the right people for a very, very long time.
I love this quote because it just ties everything we've talked about together so beautifully. By being truly authentic, you are naturally tapping into your specific knowledge. And here's the best part. No one else on the planet can compete with you at being you. It means you can play the long game without burning out because you're not competing anymore. You're just creating.
So that brings us to the final and maybe the most important question of all. You do all this, you apply the formula, you play the long game, but why? What's the real point of it all anyway?
And this is where Naval leaves us, with this really profound idea to chew on. The chase for wealth. It was never really about the money. Building wealth is the tool that buys you your freedom. Freedom to finally figure out what it was you were truly seeking all along.